The following comes from Gary Allen's book, The Rockefeller File, again published in 1976. In Chapter 10, we have the People's Planners. Again, in short, he talks about how they're fifth one seeking to establish a new world order that Kissinger is reported to have said by Al Scott. It is Kissinger's belief, according to this, to his aides, that by controlling food, one can control people, and by controlling energy, especially oil, one can control nations and their financial systems. By placing food and oil under international control, along with the world's monetary system, Kissinger is convinced to a loosely knit world government operating under the framework of the United Nations. And he says that this can be accomplished by before 1980. Now this is reading page 127 of Gary Allen's book. Kissinger is stated as one who is seeking the New World Order. Now the interesting thing more about this book is when we consider how that they're talking about having the UN be the police force of this New World Order, how that they're seeking to control food, set up a World Bank as part of this world order, seeking to control monetary funds, and also to have a world court, and that they're seeking to establish in this new international order how that they will be able to control the food and so forth. Here's Paul Scott again. Whether he fully realized it or not, President Ford has put his stamp of approval on Secretary of State Henry Kissinger's grand design foreign policy for the establishment of a loosely knit world government before the end of the 1970s. By calling for the development of a global strategy and policy for food and oil within the structure of the United Nations, the President clearly signaled his acceptance of the new international order being sought by Kissinger. That's a quote from Paul Scott, which can be found on page 129 of the said book. So you have them seeking to control the food, the resources, the oil, and then at the same time they want to reduce the family. What a family, a father and mother can have as the amount of children that they will be allowed to have. And this is what we have here again, and they're saying that they are also going to condition the world in order to bring about the acceptance of different crises. In other words, the different wars that we've had over the years have been manufactured crises in order to reduce the population to it. Now that they've got control of the food and the resources, it says here that they thought about and paid for the abortion to be escorted to, reading page 136. The Commission further suggested that the federal, state, and local governments make funds available to support abortion services in states with liberalized statutes. Rockefeller is so callous about individual beliefs that he would forcibly extract money from Catholic taxpayers, among others, to finance what their religion teaches is the murder of the unborn. Tough luck, says the Rockets. Religious perception must be overcome. The New York model abortion law, which Chairman John enthusiastically applauded, was passed, of course, under the leadership of Brother Nelson. During the vice presidential confirmation hearing, Dr. Charles Rice, professor of law at the Notre Dame Law School, characterized Nelson as, quote, the incarnate symbol of the anti-life movement, end quote, and said that Mr. Rockefeller is, quote, is perhaps the leading proponent of permissive abortion in the United States. And the Rockefellers have even financed the establishment of an abortion mill. In the summer of 1971, Planned Parenthood New York City opened its first large-scale abortion center, a prototype for the development of additional centers throughout the city, state, and nation. In 1972, 700,000 innocent babies were killed in this country, legally, before they could draw their first breath. Current estimates are that this figure could increase to 1.6 million abortions a year. This is the price of the Rockefellers' promotion of easy abortion in the United States. But it is just part of the price all of us will pay and pay and pay if the people's planners succeed in herding all of us into their New World Order. And that's written pages 136 and 137 of Gary Allen's The Rockefeller Files. A few key thoughts. Page 138. Having set the wheels in motion for establishing international controls over food and population, the Rockefellers then made their move in the all-important energy field. So again, this Global 2000 ideology is, I'm not citing anymore, this Global 2000 ideology is all part of this drive towards a new world order. And, quote, as stated before, the goal of the secret combination is to bring about the new world order by the year 2000. End of quote. Global 2000 in the works. Wake up, America!
It can be, but the way we're going, it's going to be worse. And I predict that if we continue as we are, by the end of this century, there will be widespread adoption of coercive policies, national coercive policies restricting the freedom of individual, leading to, for example, forced sterilization, restricting movements from rural to urban areas, and stimulating what I call brutal family practices, high rates of abortion and high rates of female infanticide. That's what lies ahead of us. That's what lies ahead of the world, unless we deal more effectively with this problem.
Nazi Germany, 1936. A state which will sterilize, enslave, and systematically murder millions of men, women, and children. Entire peoples are to be swept from the face of the planet. Whole populations are to be scientifically reduced, those who remain preserved only for their value as slaves. The world is to be subject to a new order.
Well, I have been looking at the New Age movement. In fact, for 7 years it was full time with me. I now have returned actively to my law practice. But I took a close look at the New Age movement starting in 1981 and found some disturbing pieces and started piecing it together and discovered we were looking at a worldwide network of organizations and groups who were really quite open about what they were doing and were working quite openly on its face for three major goals: a new world order, a new world religion, and ultimately a new age Messiah, one that they cheerfully admitted was not and could not be Jesus. It's not a movement of peace, light, and love as its proponents would have you believe, right on the face of their writings. They're talking about blood, death, to anybody who does not share their very limited worldview. And in many of the books it's phrased just that way, a final solution. Well, some of the parallels are in fact, we've now found some very open ties between the old Nazis and the direct continuation. Hitler was deeply influenced by the writings of Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, and this is where he came up with this concept of the master race, the cleansing action in races like people having their time up and it being time for them to pass from the evolutionary.